Southeastern Bow Hunter Podcast.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Southeastern Bow Hunter Podcast. This episode is going to be, honestly, in my opinion, one of the better ones that we've done. We've done some really good ones recently, but I'm kind of biased. This episode is going to be with Ryan Corkwell and Jeff Stringer from Vantage Archery. Dude, look, they're Broadheads. I am a huge fan, and honestly, I haven't used anything that has been better. So this episode, we're going to talk about all the things that's coming from VPA, some of the new stuff that has happened with them recently, some new products that have dropped. So you guys are really going to want to listen in on this episode. And, we're going to probably go over why you should choose VPA over other products or other brands, I guess, especially if you're in the fixed blade family like I am. So, I'm going to do this intro pretty quick. Obviously for VPA, if you want to check out the stuff that we talk about in this episode, you can go to their website, vparchery.com, and at checkout, after you've picked out everything you want, you can use the code SEBH10 to save 10%. So let's knock these partners out real quick. Bow Hunting League, if you haven't signed up, you need to sign up. It is now August 31st is the deadline. That is when we are basically it's going to be closed. You cannot sign up after August 31st. So go find a team. If you don't have a team, you can go to their website, bowhuntingleague.com, or go to their Facebook page, Bow Hunting League, and figure out how to sign up. It's honestly very easy. And like I said, if you don't have a team, if you have no, I guess, bow hunting friends, or anybody that, is available to get in a team, they will help get you paired up with people all across the nation. So go check out Bow Hunting League, and get signed up. Next up is going to be Boutique. I am supposed to be sending some arrows over to Michael still. I have yet to do so. He wants to build a couple custom arrows, for this season. So that's going to be really interesting. I'm just going to let him do whatever he feels needs to be done. If you go to the Boutique and you decide to get some custom arrow wraps or just buy any wraps that he sells, at shipping, put in this code. It is SEBHP that gives you free shipping. So when you go to checkout, use that code and you will get free shipping on your order. Next up is going to be Osseo Gear. Dude, I'm telling you, it's been super crazy around the house lately and at work and the podcast and all that stuff, getting everything ready. But my Osseo is going to perform flawlessly. Probably going to run it through the wash a couple more times, camo dust it down and all that stuff, and get it ready for the woods, because we have, I believe someone told me, like 43 days or something at the time of this recording. I mean, there's like no time left. So go to osseogear.com, check out what they've got. If you're running behind, they have still, I believe, a preseason sale. So use the code preseason30, saves you 30% off. And then if you want to find some of the stuff that is on sale already, you can use the code SEBH for an additional 15% off. Next up is going to be Summit Tree Stands. I always want to say Goliath. I don't know why. My Summit Dual Threat Pro SD is going to perform also flawlessly. It is a great tree stand. Tons of accessories for it. Super easy to use. Super comfortable. Bunch of different options as far as, if you're a rifle hunter or a bow hunter or whatever, or, if you're like me, I don't use the little bar in the front to climb. I use my arms. So they have a detachable bar. That bar can also go under the seat. There's just so many things you can do with that tree stand. So go to summitstands.com, get all of your accessories, get your new tree stand, and at checkout, use the code SEBH15 for 15%. Scout Tech, Thor's got his cameras now, Brock has got his cameras now, and they are performing amazingly. Mine have been performing great. I actually had my first public land buck show up this morning at the time of this recording, and that Scout Tech camera sent it immediately. And really good quality photos, really good guys over there. So go check out Scout Tech. They are still running their sale of 2 shadow cameras for $100. So yeah, if you get a Scout Tech camera, let them know you heard about us on the podcast or heard about them on the podcast, and just let them know that you're listening and that you're going to be using their product. Next up is going to be Ace Hardware and Social Circle. They are going to pretty much be able to take care of anything you need. I'm going to be having some arrows cut by them and built probably before I send them off to Michael up at the Boutique, just because, easier, less work for him. I know he's super busy, but they have everything you need, from any service you need, any products you want to buy. They got it all covered. So go check them out. Next up is going to be Bergie Bowsmith. my boy Bergie, a wizard with a bow, can tune literally any type of bow. It's insane. The dude is a master at it. Really high quality work. He is partnered up with Unbound Strings, which is, from what I've been told, the best strings that are on the market right now. I will be getting those after the season, and we'll see. I mean, everything I've been told about him sounds pretty good. So go check out Bergie Bowsmith on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I know he's got a website now that you can place orders and stuff with. If you can't seem to find it, reach out to me, reach out to him, and we'll get you guys taken care of. Next up is going to be Dialed Archery. My Dialed Arxos is sighted in, completely ready to roll. I have been tinkering with it since I got it, changing arrow weight, changing setups, all that stuff. Finally, I am ready to go. If tomorrow was opening day, I'd be 100% ready. And that Dialed Arxos is going to do its job flawlessly. So go to dialedarchery.com, check out everything they have. They've got a bunch of small batches that you can choose from. They've got, technically it's a 2-pin and a 3-pin, but it's a single post. And their design allows you to gain an extra 30 yards on your sight tape compared to other brands. It's really a cool design. So go over to dialedarchery.com and check out everything they have. And if you get a dialed sight, send me a picture. I want to see it. Next up and last, unfortunately, but not least, is going to be Camo Dust. My boy Chris, man, that is the only scent control product that I will use. It's the only one that I trust. It's performed without any issues except one time, and that's because I got rained on and did not dust back down. We're going to be doing an episode here soon in the next few months, so you guys can hear all about it. If you haven't listened to it, we did an episode last year. Go listen to that, learn more about Camo Dust, and it's really an affordable product that does its job. So I really think you guys should give them a shot. So that's all the partners. Actually, there's one more. Chest Thumper Outdoors. My boy Trent. I've been so busy with everything and a lot of the times rushing to get this intro done, and I forget about Trent all the time. So Trent, I'm sorry if you're listening. But Chest Thumper Outdoors is Trent's YouTube channel. It's extremely informative. He has been doing testing on broadheads recently, and those videos are honestly showing a lot of things that I think is going to help a lot of people make their decision this year. He's tested some VPAs, and they performed amazingly. I mean, what do you expect? And so go check out Chest Thumper Outdoors. That is going to be the end of the partners. So before we get started with this episode, I say it every single time. If you don't know Jesus Christ, I'm pleading with you. I'm begging you. Give him a shot. Things are definitely getting harder. We all know that. And him being the one you can go to in all your tough times, I'm telling you, there's nothing better. I'm not going to throw it at you like that. I'm not going to get all super preacher on you, but I'm not perfect. Nobody is. But without him, we wouldn't have a chance. And because of him, we have a chance to basically have eternal life once we leave this world, and Lord knows when that's going to happen. But not trying to make it a little dark. I'm just saying, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. So I don't think there's any better way to wrap that up. We got all that out of the way. Look, this episode is going to be great. I always love it when I get to talk with Ryan and Jeff. And I know that this is going to be one for the books. So you know what? Enough talking. Let's get started with Ryan and Jeff from Vantage Archery. We got my boys from VPA, Mr. Ryan Corkwell and Jeff Stringer. It has been almost a year since you guys have been on, and I feel like that's too long, but a lot has happened since the last episode. So before we dive into all that, how have you guys been? I mean, how was y'all seasons? I mean, anything of note that you want to talk about?
Go ahead, Ryan.
I slaughtered a 4-inch sapling.
Nice.
I told you about that.
Nice.
I told you about that. I don't know how I didn't see it, and I hope this year will be better. I always say the next year is going to be better. But even Jeff knows this. I enjoy just being out of the shop and out of the house, and just whether it's either stand or just sitting in a blind. Can't get much better, right? Cool mornings, warming up. I love that time of year.
Yeah, I showed Ryan a big buck that's maybe, I don't know, 30 feet from that stand the other day. So he's ready to go. But Ryan, move your camera around. I want to see where you mounted that sapling on the wall.
I didn't. I probably should have. I should cut that down because the shaft is still in it. That VPA broadhead was good. I just unscrewed it.
Okay. Oh man, dude, Yeah, I'll tell you, man, those VPAs, when I killed my deer my last year in January, it zipped, and that was with the Omega. It zipped straight through or hit a rock and buried in the dirt. And I pulled that thing out, and it could have gone another round, no chips, nothing. And I was like, dude, I mean, this stuff's the real deal. So I believe it. I could see you taking out a sapling with what broadhead were you shooting?
It was the Omega.
Nice.
Yep. The Omega 150 last year.
Okay.
Yep.
So Jeff, what about you, man? Did you knock anything down last year?
I had a great year. I took my dad elk hunting in Utah. Me and my son and my dad and Steve Huggins, a good friend of mine, went out, and my dad didn't kill a record book elk, but the memories and it was the last night he was going to hunt because he's 80 or close to 80 and just tired, a lot of hiking in the mountains, and put down a nice bowl the last day. And I went to give him a high five, and he's got my 20-year-old son there hugging, balling. That's the memory of the hunt, is just spending time with family. But it was a great season. Great season.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I have to touch on this. Your dad is almost 80 or was almost 80 when he was hiking the mountains.
Oh, my dad's a tank, man. He's he's just a go-getter and blue-collar guy, bust his butt as a Boilermaker. Just he's done stuff in his life that I don't wish on anybody, but came home smiling every day, put food on the table, and just happy to be alive. So least I could do is take him out. He gave me, three guys in my life that I really just give everything to. Is my grandfather, Del Mortensen, my dad, Mike Stringer, and then believe it or not, a Boy Scout leader named Paul Reed, but he's like a second dad to me. So those guys just never shied away from just being real men, unapologetically who they are, and just like me and Ryan talk about, just high integrity individuals. So.
Dude, that is awesome. I hope when I'm 80, I'm able to at least make it up a hill, much less climb a mountain. I mean, that's insane, dude. But all right, well, good. I'm glad you guys had good seasons, Brian. I hope that sapling was at least poking you.
All day long, boys.
What'd you say?
Long. I said all day long it made poking.
There you go.
That sapling did. Did in my eyes.
Yeah, it didn't run off either. It stayed
there. Oh man. Well, all right. So you touched on the Omega. So obviously that's been kind of like the in my opinion, the focal point broadhead. Jeff's got it down there on screen. Jeff, if you make a noise, the people that watch the video will be able to see it.
Yeah, it's you just look at it. It is one solid piece wedged in there, and then I don't know if it's its big brother or where am I here, or its little brother, but here's the Omega with bleeders. And
gosh, dude.
You talk to Lusk. Lusk does a lot of reviews, and he calls this thing the tank. But I'll also say he did ours, and then he did this 4-piece Chinese-made piece of junk that came up right after ours. And I want people to play those videos side by side, because and I like Lusk. He's consistent, never going to badmouth him because I think he's a wonderful guy. But I can't figure out how this thing that's a tank goes through all those tests, comes out looking just like this. The other one comes out and it looks like it's chattered on all the blades and it's roughed up, and it gets a better score. I just don't understand that. Ours went in and it was sub 200. I think it was Ryan, 149 or something on the initial cut. Yeah. And then 179, still sub 200. And we get a deduction. So
yeah,
I think there's some flaws with the scoring, but still I'll put this up against anything. And we've shot it into, I don't think Ryan's penetrated the sidewall of the building yet, but it's coming.
It might this year. I haven't decided.
Did you mount that panel of the side building up there somewhere?
No, I just filled it with silicone to make sure it didn't leak. I wanted to leave that up.
Oh man. Well, Jeff, I'm glad you brought up the Lusk thing, because I was talking with a buddy of mine about this, and I'm with you. Like, I watch all his videos. I think his testing is great. But one thing, and I've been thinking about reaching out to him and talking to him about it, is instead of doing like just every type of broadhead against itself, I would think that doing like 2 categories would be better. Like if you've got a fixed blade category where you put all the fixed blades against each other, and then you get a mechanical category and you test all the mechanicals against each other, you kind of get a better idea. And the scoring thing, I was actually watching his I watched the one on the Omega with bleeders this morning, and I want to say it was the Tulu Broadhead one I watched when I got home. And he had mentioned something about like the cut size being part of the score. And it's like, I mean, I get that, but with a fixed blade, you can't do that because none of them have a cut like half these mechanicals out here. So I know that we're not the only ones saying that. So I'm sure he's going to change something for 2025. But yeah, I mean, when I saw he dropped that video on the Omega with bleeders, I think I was like maybe view number 50, right? Because I've been waiting for that. And when you guys told me about that broadhead dropping, I got so hyped. So I mean, what about that broadhead is, I guess, obviously there's bleeders, but what would you say is different from the original Omega, and what went into making that broadhead?
Oh, I'll jump in. If Jeff holds it up, he's going to take it apart. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. He's going to take it apart here in a second, and that way you can kind of see. Like, there's the bleeder. That bleeder is 0.094 thick. Everybody else's bleeder in the industry is 0.02. So pretty much we're almost 4 times thicker. Actually,
That's a
thicker.
That's a broadhead in itself. If you could put that on the end of the shaft, that could kill something by itself.
Yeah.
Yep. Super easy. It goes directly through the ferrule. I'll show you here real quick. The ferrule, see that there? The ferrule is cut out.
Yeah.
And then when you put that in right there, it'll just slide in and then lock up. And then your ring goes on the back. That way, that'll go against your outsert, insert, whatever you're rocking as far as up front for that. Super simple. And then it tightens down and pushes that bleeder forward so it locks in. That was the main. Go ahead.
We've shot those things into cinder blocks, trees, everything, because what we wanted to make sure is that bleeder didn't slide forward or slide back on impact. And Ryan brings up a good point, is how thick that bleeder is. A lot of our competitors right on their package say, it'll shear off when it hits bone. Well, what the hell good is that? I mean, that's like the mechanicals. There's some good ones out there, but they're not built to go through the bone. This thing is built to go through the bone with the bleeder on it and come out with the bleeder on it.
Yeah, I mean, that thing looks so stout, dude. And it's funny too, because I forget who, I want to say it was Fred Bear said something years ago about like the best broadhead in his opinion would have been a fixed blade or fixed 2-blade with bleeders, and that the bleeders, if they break off, it just helps with penetration. I'm like, yeah, but then you're losing the cut. What's the point of the bleeders? So I like how you guys made them to the point where they're not going to shear off like that, because it's essentially, I mean, yes, it's a 2-blade single bevel with bleeders, but it's also kind of like a different design on a 4-blade. So that I'm very excited to see what the damage does on that broadhead, because I remember that doe that I shot, she didn't make it 60 yards, and while the hole wasn't huge, she died quickly. And that's what we want, full pass through, no issues. So I can't even imagine what that broadhead's going to do. Like, that entry and exit hole is probably going to be gnarly.
Yeah. The other cool design is it's just like the original Omega. So it's got that lay flat sharpening technology. So once you move that bleeder, you're sharpening just like the old one. So we're really excited about it.
Man. So, okay, for the people who don't know, what options are being offered now and what options will be offered in the future for that broadhead?
So right now we're offering it 150 and 200.
Okay.
Man, I like to think that our engineers can get it down to 125, but I don't know if it's going to make it there. Yet to be determined on that. Yeah. I think we're going to go 250 and 300 also.
I had that long conversation today with the engineer about it's got to be down there. There's a whole market down there that even the Omega, we got to figure out a way to get that into the 100 class range, because there's guys that are just not willing to move up 25 grains. So I'm with Ryan. We're not going to commit, but we're working hard at it. The integrity pieces for us, we warranty them. So we don't want to compromise quality, just to get down into that grain weight. So Ryan's pushing hard.
I have been for a while. Yeah.
Well, that's one thing I wanted to talk about though, is like, I think, so do you guys know where it started? This whole 100 grain is like the main thing people use. Cause to me, like I'm shooting the 125s, right? And with the Omega with bleeders, I'll probably go up to 150. Long story. Basically, I'm getting stiffer spined arrows in order to do that. And I don't understand where the 100 grain idea of it being like, you go into a shop and they're like, all right, you need this 100 grain broadhead, but a 125 has more FOC, which, as we all know, that aids in penetration. I don't understand why 100 grain is like, I guess, the target for a lot of people. Do you guys have any idea why that is?
Go ahead.
It's what it used to be, right? You used to be able to get, I think I never shot them. I think you could get 50 grain for a while. You can still get some in 75 grain, and then 100 used to be the heavy one. So everybody set up all their stuff. That's what they're used to shooting. That's what their dad shot. That's what they've shot. And, change is tough for people, and not everybody buys into the FOC. You got a lot of talking heads that are saying, shoot light, shoot light, shoot light. So,
but
again,
my question, go ahead, Jeff. No. I don't want to interrupt you. That's my fault, Papa. Jeff, I'm sorry.
Shut up. We're the only, I think we're the only ones that have the range of broadheads that we offer. We've got stuff for everybody, and we don't, like you, we don't tell you what to shoot. We got our own recommendations and our own things that we've tried and failed with. But the great part of this industry, and I want people to remember, is it's about what's good for you. At the end of the day, it's you and that animal. You got to feel good with what you're shooting, and then the fun or the knowledge of it is success and failure. Try some stuff, figure out what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what you like, what you don't like, and then who am I to tell you what to do, right?
Man, that broadhead's beautiful.
I get that side of it a ton, Jeff. The only other thing that I don't have an understanding on is when a guy says, well, I'm running like 100 grains of brass and I'm putting on a 100 grain broadhead.
Yeah, scratch my head.
Yeah, like why not just put that in the broadhead? Yeah, right. Like it's like that just boggles my mind. Like why not put it in something that you know is not going to fail, which is the broadhead.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing that I go and guys are like, well, I don't want to change my setup. I'm like, okay, well then think about us next year, right? Like if you want to go into that 150 grain broadhead, then take out 25 grains, right? Yep. Change up your inserts.
I mean, I can relate to that because if you guys remember last year, it was a week before y'all came on, and I had shot that doe and had a mechanical open up in flight and completely gut shot. Now I will say, and I still say it, I'm happy that if that shot was going to happen, it was with that broadhead because it made like a softball size hole and she died quickly. But it only happened because it failed, and I didn't want to change. Before that, I was like, oh, mega meat all day long. I still think it's a great broadhead. But then after that happened, and I'd already been thinking about the single bevel thing, then you guys come on, we partner up, I shoot the single bevels, and I'm like, I'm not shooting anything else. I mean, really, I don't see why, because it's accurate and it penetrates. That's what you want. It kills them quickly. So it was hard for me to change, man. I get it. I've been pushing y'all now almost a year, and I've had a few people switch over, but a lot of my buddies are like, oh, man, well, the cut's not that big. I'm going to stick to this, or it costs too much. But I'm like, well, yeah, but you buy it once. It'll last you probably your whole life, at least half of it, right? You just resharpen it. It's not hard. So people will catch on, but
a couple things around that is you guys picked us up. We didn't, again, right? We didn't force you. We didn't say, hey, the only reason we're coming on your podcast is so you can push our broadheads. That's not how we are. We want people to shoot them that like them. But, when they talk about it, the opening size and you need a big hole, it's all about shot placement too. This will leave a 4-inch gap on the other side because it goes through and makes its corkscrew on there. But this one also opens it up, and any of our broadheads opens it up that you can shoot through that shoulder. Yeah. So you talk about wound channels, and I was watching guys shoot Cape Buffalo today, and guy shot him right in the shoulder, and people are saying that was a horrible shot. Well, learn the anatomy of the animal that you're going to shoot. But these broadheads allow you to shoot that whole anatomy cavity, not just the backside, and try to hit the third. So you can have mechanical all day long, and I think there's some neat mechanicals out there. I stop short of saying good, because you work on your process over and over and over to get out variation. Then you put something on the end of your broadhead that creates variation. And let's face it, the broadhead is the only thing that kills. Everything else is a delivery package.
Yep.
So when people say it's too expensive, whatever, lifetime warranty, you can't get that from anybody. You can't get that from Iron Will, any of those guys that are charging a ton of money. We think we're right in there. We actually dropped the price on these because we figured out a way to do it cheaper. So we dropped the price and we're sharing that with the consumer. So you're getting good value, American made. Ethical shot placement is always key, but these things will help you out doing that.
Well, I feel like when people get them in their hands, because when we did the second annual bow shoot this year, y'all sent out a box of, stuff to give away for like raffle winners and stuff like that. And I think there was 3 packs of broadheads in there. And I remember the guys that won them. I'm like, dude, I promise you, you shoot these and you tune with these, you're not going to switch. I guarantee you will not switch. As far as I know, they're still planning on using this season. So I'll keep up with it.
That's great.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, like I said, man, to me, it's a foolproof plan. You've got a broadhead that does the job. And I mean, I'm a fan of the S7 and the Omega. I also have some 3-blade solids, and I may use those this year. I want to bring this up with you guys. So what setup would you say I should use for those 3 blades? Because I've had one failure with a 3-blade. It wasn't a VPA, it was a different brand, but I'm kind of like a little nervous about shooting a 3-blade. So,
are you broadhead tuning that, or are you just, what's your plan there?
What do you mean? Oh,
Like,
like
so
shooting.
yeah. Are you all good to go? Are they flying good? Like,
Yeah.
is that your fear, or is it just the broadhead failed?
No, it's not. It's not a failure. It's not fear of tuning. It's more of a penetration deal. Because I look at broadhead stuff all the time, right? And the one thing I keep seeing people saying is like, all right, a 2-blade obviously penetrates better. A 3-blade supposedly has a tougher time. And I sharpen the crap out of those. So a 125 3-blade compared to a single bevel 125. I mean, I kind of want to use all 3 variants that I have, but I just don't want to, I don't want to go up and shoot my target buck and then, maybe it flies weird or whatever. I think it's tuned. So I mean, like, what setup, if someone came to you and said, I want to shoot a 3-blade, what setup would you guys tell?
Yeah, that's where I want to go. Okay, what's your draw length? What's your poundage? What's your bottom pin set out? How far are you like that's where I'm gonna go. And then I'll probably, like, let's say he's shooting a 3-blade and he wants to, and everything works out, whether it's 150 or 125. I'm not gonna have a fear in that broadhead at all on penetration. That's the last thing I think about.
Okay.
I really do. Like,
so I'm just in my head is what you're saying.
I think so. Like, I wouldn't fear that at all.
Okay. Because I mean, I've got the sharpening stone upstairs, and I spent 3 hours one day sharpening every single broadhead that you guys sent me. And I got them stupid sharp. So
yeah,
I think because last year when I shot that doe in the shoulder with a 3-blade and it didn't get any penetration, I still am convinced the arrow broke rather than the broadhead failing.
Okay.
And again, it wasn't y'all's broadhead. It was
okay.
I'll just say it was a different brand, but I don't know, man. I get really weird around this time of year with my selection, and I usually go with what's worked,
Okay.
But I want to try the 3-blade.
So, I guess what's worked is the single bevel, so don't switch it up, right? Like,
yeah, that's the thing. Like, I want to do it, but I don't want to do it. So I don't know. I thought I'd bring that up with y'all and see what you thought. Because
what's your overall grain weight of your arrow with that 125?
So I have 2 different builds. I've been kind of playing with it a little bit. One build is 445 and my other one is 455. So basically between 440, 460.
Okay.
So
what's your poundage? How are you pulling back 70. 80 pounds yet?
No. Once Bear makes a 70 or an 80-pound bow, I'll probably get it. But right now I'm shooting 70.
Okay. Yeah. I wouldn't have an issue with that, but I know that for me at that distance, like, I'm 40 and under.
That's where I'm at.
That's where I'm going to be.
Okay. Well, I'll just try.
Man, I can't see how with that, like, flying at 285 FPS or something like that, somewhere around there.
275 is the last number I saw.
So I wouldn't be afraid of that.
Okay. Well, I guess what I'll do is I'll
Jeff's, what do you think?
Yeah, Jeff, before I say that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the biggest issue we get, or the one that concerns some people, is, and it's not a concern, it's man, I love your broadheads, but I hate having to find them after they do a pass through. And I'm not saying that there's probably none that don't go through, because I'm sure there has to be, depending on where they hit them.
Mhm.
But the vast majority of people say, dude, that thing blew through. Matter of fact, I thought I missed it till it tipped over, and then it just blew through, and the deer didn't know what hit him. And I think that's the ethical part about what we're trying to make is through the shoulder, through the pump house, through both lungs, out the other shoulder, and the deer doesn't really know it's been hit. It's like, wait a minute, I'm getting dizzy, but I'm not sure why. And I think that's good on the deer, and then they're not running off. You know, a lot of our pictures are people saying, hey, look, I shot it right over there, 20 yards, 30 yards, 40 yards, not, hey, I tracked this thing for 3 days and the coyotes ate it. I think that's the difference that we're trying to make. And it's
Well
working.
said.
Doing a good job.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, well said.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, here's what I'll do. So I don't know if you remember that deer trike that I was after last year.
Yeah.
Have I shown you guys him yet?
No.
Oh, dude. Hold on a second. So he's getting an Omega or an S7 through the pump house. I've already decided that. This deer shows up every single day. I basically have him trained, right? And I just told this story like 2 days ago, but if I put food out, because we can bait down here, I'll drive my truck. I have no muffler. They can hear it. I go up there to the spot, drop the feed off. As I'm leaving, these deer will come running out of the woods and go to it. And he'll be there 30 minutes after me, right? So
you're going to have your wife drop you off.
Yeah.
Put the food out. You're going to stay and
I'm
start to
sitting
punch
alone.
it.
Yeah, he's gonna walk 5 miles, and then have his wife drive by with the bait, and then leave.
That's probably what's gonna happen. So this is him. I don't want to say he's not the biggest I've got on camera, but he's the most consistent. But that's
nice.
That's trike. Yeah. So with him, I'm gonna go with what I have used and I know works, which is the Omega. But I also have deer showing up in other spots. So what I'm probably going to do is take that 3-blade where I know there's a ton of does and just get this little, okay. Dang, dude. Was that a 10?
That's right next to Ryan, where I got Ryan's stand at. And the thing is Ryan and Alex share that. So it's whoever is lucky. Or maybe Ryan won't share it this year. I don't know.
I'm going to put up another stand in there too. I can take Eve with me. So we'll have a couple in that area.
There you go. Oh, dude, that is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
10.
10, yeah. Jeez. So y'all are getting me excited. I've got an 11 on camera that showed up a month ago.
Hey, Ryan, show him the
Omega.
Ryan, show him the picture of the one you got me set up on.
Yeah, here, I'll show you.
He doesn't have, it's going to be like an empty bean filled with
just
Walmart
a second.
in the background.
Is this at his house? He's got you set up at his house?
He doesn't have me set up anywhere.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
There's your tree, buddy.
I can't see it.
There it is, dude. That's perfect.
Right there. That's it.
I don't get to see it.
Right down there by the beans. That's the tree I got you gonna sit in.
Oh, so now I can get up on your board. I'll be able to mount that. I don't know if my ceiling height's tall enough for a 20-foot sapling.
Oh man.
Y'all are killing me. Oh man. So all right. So obviously the Omega Bleeder, that is, I think, pretty much one of the bigger things that has dropped this year. But you guys also just dropped something with Valkyrie Archery, which finally came together. I've known about this for months. What can you guys tell us about that?
Well, Brent's he's been with us since he began, or we've been with him since he began, and just made it public that we're out there. He makes an awesome high-end broadhead. I mean, it's killed tons of things from giraffes to elephants to whatever you want in there. And he's just a stand-up guy. So we just want to make it public that we've got him. We make them at our shop. You can pick them up at our shop. You can pick them up from him. He's got the whole package where you can get the whole arrow set up and everything, or you can get the Blood Eagle or the Jagger with different center pin options in there, titanium, steel, or aluminum. And just trying to get the whole package. We're trying to get a collab of good U.S. made products. So hopefully here we do a ton of white labeling. We don't talk about it much, but most of your good one-piece broadheads probably come out of our shop, and we're just trying to get those people to, get on the bandwagon with us, and let's go out and push American made and U.S. jobs and getting kids out of high school and not send them to be indoctrinated. We've got Danny the Mule. I'm really trying to work hard with the Mod Saw guys to get them over. They've got a great product. So just really capitalizing on this American made, and then making sure it's like Ryan always says, it's about integrity, making sure we're partnering with good, high integrity people that treat the sport the way it's supposed to be. We're killing things, right? So let's do it ethically and morally and do business correct. So that's what we're doing.
I love it. Yeah, because I was I heard about Valkyrie a while ago, and I was looking at their stuff on the website today, and those broadheads that they've got are just, like, they look like they're going to penetrate through anything. Like, you could shoot a whale with those things. It's crazy. So it's really good to see that finally came about. And I don't know how long ago it was that you guys told me about that, but yeah, man, I'm excited. My buddy Bergie actually is friends with the guy that I know you said his name, but I'm terrible with names, but the owner.
Brent Hahn.
Brent
Hahn, yeah.
Brent Hahn. Okay, yeah. So me and Bergie were talking about it, and he was like super excited. I don't know if you guys know Bergie or not. Bergie Bowsmith. He is a wizard when it comes to tuning bows. This dude.
Is that his real name?
No, his real name is Gunthries, I think, but everybody calls him Bergie.
Bergie Bowsmith. I want to meet his family.
Meet his family?
Yeah, if they named their kid Bergie Bowsmith, that's just. I used to have this FBI guy named Rocky Argo, and I'm like, "What's your real name?" He says, "Rocky Argo." I said, "You were born to be an FBI agent."
Yeah, in like a '70s movie. That's crazy, man. Right? That I don't know, man. I'm just really, really happy to see everything you guys are doing. Because y'all are, in my opinion, the best broadhead company out there. Honestly,
thank you, sir.
I'm really curious what's next, though. Like, and I know we probably can't talk about it on here as far as like broadhead designs and all that stuff, but what other stuff? Is there anything new that's dropping this year? And can you guys kind of talk about that, or when it's going to drop, or anything like that?
Tell them about what's going to drop at ATA, Ryan. You can't give them all the details, but something to look forward to.
So we want to design another broadhead that's along that same lines of a Omega. But when you think about that insert system, outsert, we want to redesign that whole thing and make it so the broadhead covers over the end of the shaft. Yeah. Okay. So it's designed for certain number of shafts. We were working with those aero companies to actually test and work through it. That's about all I can give you right now. It's going to be super cool,
dude.
Yeah, really cool.
You got my wheels turning now. I'm literally imagining designs in my head right now.
The other thing we just came out with is that new small game thumper. Did you see that on the website?
Yeah. I was gonna bring that up. So because I don't do any small game hunting. I have a rabbit next door. I could probably smoke at like 50 if I wanted to, but I've never had rabbits, so I don't know anything about it. But what's up with that? Because the design is really it's really interesting looking.
Yeah, same like design, right? Like a claw. It's called the rip claw. It goes over the end of the shaft and protects protects the whole shaft on a 166 204 and a for a bolt. Is that 365, Chad? I think it's 365. Yeah. So we're making for different like arrow shafts. That way they can cover over the end, and then you just screw it in and lock it in with the field point.
So if you use a 8/32 ball. Yeah, if you use 8/32 ball nose, it's 100, and then if you use your field tip, you can whatever your field tip plus that 96 grain, whatever it is, claw.
Yep.
So it's kind of like a ring that would go over it.
A shaft. So if you look at this broadhead, where the shaft's at, it actually has a collar that goes down over it. So it actually slides down, and then your shaft is actually your 8/32 ball head screw, or it's the shaft to your field point that goes in and holds it in. So it just slides over the top. But again, we listen to the consumers, and the consumers saying we love shooting stumps or small games with these, but it fractures the arrow at the tip. Can you do something about it? So we just encapsulated that. So now you got an outsert basically as part of your claw, and then you can change it. We got guys killing coyotes with those things because they'll put in a 200 grade field tip with that claw on the back. Turkeys, I mean, it gets some penetration in there, but it just collapses them. They're shooting all sorts of things with them. I don't know that you can. I got to check state regs, but I would try it on a doe for sure.
Yeah.
If you could do it.
I was waiting for that.
I'll definitely have one in my quiver for I smoked a possum last year with a 200 Omega, and it was cool, but it's kind of a waste of Omega. But I'd love to have some of those in there. Oh, it smoked him, dude. It almost cut him in half.
Yeah, I bet. Dude, my buddy used a 200 Omega on an elk, and it left a pretty decent sized hole of possum. Wow. That's crazy. Oh, man. All right. So I want to ask you guys about something that I know we didn't talk about last time. And so I'm buddies with the Hunters Advantage guys. And I was listening to y'all's episode with them. I want to say it was like a month or two ago, right? I think it was around when the Omega with bleeders dropped. And Jeff, you mentioned something about a certain weight broadhead that I did not know existed. A 600 grain broadhead.
625 to be exact. Do you have it there?
I might. Hang on, sir. Let me see if I got one.
I mean, what do you kill with that? A T-Rex?
So that's something for like when guys call us and they're just like, hey, can you make this? And we're like, sure, but it's going to cost you a lot. So I don't know if the guy put on a spear. It was for a guy in South Africa, wanted them.
Yeah.
But it's huge. I don't know if he has them. It's actually serrated.
Wow.
Yeah, we ought to make some more. I'll talk to Jeff. We ought to make some more of those.
See,
just to have them.
I mean, yeah, dude. Troy is going to shoot him. He'll probably go over the moon for that thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Have you guys thought about doing any serrated broadheads? And if that's something that may or may not be coming, just blink twice and we'll move on. But
I haven't. It's not
Okay.
something we can't do because the issue with the serrated broadhead is for the end user, for guys that are shooting them all the time. They're super hard to sharpen.
That's true.
Like a serrated broadhead is just really hard to sharpen.
Yeah.
I don't see it's out of the realm of possibilities. It would be easier for us to take like a 100 or 125 and straight those out and have a different offering.
Well, maybe you could do an Omega with bleeders serrated.
Oh my goodness! Now we're just
Can you imagine
throwing like everything out the window?
I mean, it's called Omega. You got to do something with it.
Yeah.
No, I don't know, man. That's just wild because there's so many different things. Like I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day. He's got this crazy idea about, and I told him I'd bring this up with y'all. And he has this crazy idea of a broadhead. And let's just say that his idea is a tracking device in a broadhead that lasts 24 hours.
But the issue is our broadheads go all the way through.
And that's what I told him. I'm like, see, your problem is you're looking at wanting to keep the arrow in the animal. Yeah. I'm looking at wanting to go straight through it and basically 25, 27 inches into the dirt. Yeah. That's what I'm looking for. But what I did tell him, and maybe this is something y'all can, I mean, I know that you guys probably are never going to make a mechanical. I don't blame you.
Probably not. No.
But if you did, what would y'all think about a single bevel mechanical?
A single bevel mechanical.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't think that it's out of the realm of possibilities. Would I say that, like, if we do a mechanical, being in conjunction with somebody that already does a mechanical, right?
Yeah,
I think that's probably the side of it. Like, I'm super hard staunch. Not that I haven't shot a mechanical. It's just on that side of, you know what? We build these to last, right?
Yeah.
I build these to not have failure, and we build these to like for high integrity, right? Because I want guys to call me back and say, hey, I scratched this up and bent it. And I'm like, I can send you a new one because that's part of the warranty. Just show me the kill. Right. So
I love that warranty. Yeah, I don't know. It's a thought that I had. It's an idea that he and I were talking about, and I figured I'd ask y'all since you are the broadhead guys. So Jeff, did you find that 600?
I cannot find it. I was playing with it the other day. I've got one from when we bought the company. But I
No, what
can't
we need to
find
do is just have Miller make a few more of those.
I say we make them, and if if we do a podcast with you or you're one of our dealers, make a plaque out of it somehow and say,
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd
It's
be really
bad.
cool.
you know those drills that you put on? It's like I don't remember what they call them, a awl, or it's one of those drills that can do a small hole or it gets bigger as you go.
Yeah.
Like a Dremel?
Yeah. No, it's
No.
a tip that goes on your drill, but it looks like that. It just has 3 fins, but it's just massive.
That's insane, dude.
Hole saw, hole drill, whatever they call it.
Step drill.
Step drill, yep.
I don't even know.
I
If
got you. I'm tracking with you.
625 grand. So changing gears a little bit. I know Alex she's pretty new to bow hunting, right? Or to hunting in general. How was her
hunting? She grew up hunting. She just new to bow hunting.
Okay. Did she get anything last year?
No, some time in a tree stand.
Yeah, well, I mean that's better than nothing.
Without failure, you cannot enjoy success.
Well,
a bunch of days sitting there waiting and not seeing will make her. She had a big buck come by though, didn't she, Ryan?
She
did. About flipped out about.
Really?
Yeah.
Was she shaking and all that? Because I'll shake over a fawn, so I can. I do, man. I'm telling you, it's really bad. It happened to me last year, but I was just curious because I know she's, like I said, new to bow hunting and all that, and working with you guys shooting BPAs. I mean, I'm really curious. Is she shooting like low poundage?
Or she shoots 40 pounds, maybe 50,
pounds.
Somewhere around there. She's running 150 up front. I do know that.
Wow. So her arrow weight's probably like what, mid to upper fives?
Probably right around there, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That girl puts in the time too. She's not right now. She's getting married next weekend.
17th. 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
So the poor lady is running around with her head cut off, and that girl goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. So I don't know that she's pulled the bow back, but she might have some interesting things in her wedding gift that's related to hunting.
Nice. Okay. That's awesome, dude. Yeah. See, and that's the thing about you guys, man, is y'all take care of your people. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was shocked when Ryan invited me and Josh out to TAC. Honestly, like that. I don't think you understand how much that meant, because I never really thought I would go to TAC. And then when you're like, yeah, man, come on out, come to the booth, shoot a course, whatever. I'm like, oh, you do care. I was like, you do care about me. And it's just cool, man. Like I see you guys, posting stuff all the time, always promoting like really high value morals with your stuff. And I don't know, that's just something that like, it just means a lot. So I wanted to give y'all the credit where it's due and basically say thank you for that. And it shows in the product as well. Like it's just another reason why I push it, honestly. And I wanted to get you guys on to talk about all the stuff that's new and talk about like really what's coming. I mean, so speaking of things that are new, I wanted to talk about the mule. So like that, for people who don't know, what is it?
I'll get a prop. Hang on.
Okay.
It's a stabilizer is what it is. Is the easiest thing to call it what it is. It's a stabilizer, but also it has, I don't know, I think Danny might be up to like 60 different functions of this thing. So he's got a bunch of things that you can actually do with it. Jeff, if Jeff doesn't have one, I can run down to my garage and grab mine real quick. I've got mine on my bow.
Yeah. What bow are you shooting this year?
I'm shooting the same one I shot last year, my Phase 4.
Nice. Have you shot the lift yet?
I have not, and I'm not going to.
Why?
Because I just don't want to. Like, why shoot another bow? I'm happy with it. I like it. It feels great in my hand. It's dead. I love it.
There it is.
So this is my wife's bow. I don't have pink all over my bow.
Hey, I wouldn't judge you, man. October's coming in 2 months. It's okay.
No, it's not mine. But so you see it on there. It's hard to put, but it can be a kickstand. So you set it here, keeps your cams out of the dirt, out of the mud. Then you hold it so it's under your forearm. lean it forward, it takes 80% of the weight off, or you can roll it over and carry it on the top of your arm, do the same thing, takes 80% of the weight off. This little hook deal here pulls out, and you set it like that. It goes in your pocket so you can spot. And this actually can hold the fork can hold on a tree so that you can hang it up into a tree. The best thing about this is the way it redistributes the weight for your arm, but it's also, I'll take it off here and show you, it's got more dampening than any stabilizer out there. So when you think of the typical stabilizer, it's made out of carbon fiber. It takes that vibration, runs it up and down the tube till it dissipates it. This one actually has more dampening capacity than any of those, and it runs it down the shaft once and out. You got to look at the front like a tuning fork. Put this bow down. If I drop this thing, my wife will shoot me.
Is it compatible with like the Fourth Arrow phone mount? Like if somebody wanted to put that mount on there, could you do that? Or are those
You'd have to put it behind it, right? And behind that lock. Yes, you actually could. You can, because of the way it mounts with the 1032 screw. But yeah, it'll go on the base. It will do that.
Okay.
Yep. So look at all the dampening in here. All these, I don't remember the name of them, neoprene or
Grommets.
washers, grommets. And we actually, on the new Mach 7, we added another hole here at the front, so you get an additional one. And then this poly dipped piece here is like a tuning fork. So it takes that vibration down the shaft and out the fork. It actually dampens quicker than a regular one does. Plus, like Ryan said, you can put a Picatinny on the bottom, so you can hang your GoPro, your Tacticam, whatever you want, a light if you're out in Texas hunting. It just has so many options.
You can have weights to the front and to the bottom. So
you can put another saddle on here, so it gives you an X, right, Ryan?
Yep. That way, if you want to set your bow so it's the other way, like if you're ground hunting, you could put an X on there on the bottom side of that, and then you can have it so your arrow's already in if you're in a blind, so you're ready to go, and it'll hold there. It's super cool.
Dude, that's wild. I mean, when I saw it at TAC, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. You know, you walking through and you kind of rest on your arm. I didn't realize it had that many different like uses.
It works as a back scratcher too.
Oh, dude, I didn't want to say anything. It does look like a good back scratcher.
It is. Even on your bow, you can like get that. It's really easy. Chin stand.
Chin stand, hold a big fat head. But you start watching people that are shooting. Cam Haynes, he doesn't promote it, but it's on his bow. Eric Wolf, it's on his bow. I watched Dudley walk around the other day with it. So, and it's amazing when you sell it. What I love about it is people come to the booth, and now you just show them how to use it and hand it to them, and they, they got the grumpy resting bitch face on, and then all of a sudden it's like they're looking at their buddies like, "Can we buy 4 of these? Can we get a discount for 4?" Sure.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, the reason I ask is because me and my buddy Thor, Thor, Josh, who you met at TAC, Ryan, and my buddy Andy are planning a trip to Illinois next year, our first out-of-state trip. And we'll be hunting public land, and we're planning on filming. And I have never filmed in the tree stand before, but I'm looking at like getting some sort of setup for that. So I was already planning on getting one of those stabilizers. I guess I'll have to figure out what'll work with it. But yeah, I mean, I just needed to know that because obviously I'm going to be doing like, videos of the broadheads we're using. Hopefully by that point I can convince them all to be shooting VPA. I know Josh is shooting VPA. I think Andy, I'm working on Andy. Thor's the tough one. Thor's tough. He loves mega meats. I'm pushing him though. I'm like, dude, I'll give you a few of these VPAs I've got. Just try one, right? Like just shoot one, see what happens. So I don't know if like you guys want me to send you anything when we do that trip. As far as
dude, swing by the shop. It's like Indiana's on your way to Illinois.
Not the way I go. I go up through Kentucky.
That's the wrong way to go. You got to go through northern Indiana.
But we're going to southern Illinois.
It's a triangle. You're making the triangle.
Yeah. I've gone the way you're talking. I know exactly which way you're talking. So maybe I can convince him. Maybe I'll tell him like, hey, look, let's take an extra day. We'll swing by the VPA shop. We get to go see everybody. I might actually tell them we need to do that. That would be pretty cool to actually come see you guys. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I want to start putting stuff together to sort of have more Southeastern bow hunter and VPA things being out there rather than just me sharing everything and talking about it every week.
Sure.
Because I mean, really, dude, like I said, I'll talk to anyone on this podcast, and every single time I'll tell them VPA. I did it with the Tulu guys when they came on. I told Jeff this today. They're good dudes and buddies with them, but the first thing I said, I'm like, look, guys, this is what I'm shooting. All right, like I want to hear about what you got. This is what I'm shooting, and I haven't heard from them in a couple of weeks. So we'll see. Hopefully they're not, upset or whatever, but it is what it is. It's the name of the game. But yeah, man. So I guess, before we wrap this up, guys, what do you guys have planned for this season? Is there anything else that we're going to be seeing from VPA in the next couple of months? I mean, deer season down here is in 5 weeks. So
I would be remiss if we didn't talk about a little bit about the Vantage Point Armory side, the other VPA that we're super excited about. Like on the compensate, the compensators that we're making and we're selling. Like we've got 8 guns now, Jeff, and that list just keeps growing.
Yeah, not enough.
Not enough, right? Everybody's always like, "Hey, when's that gun coming out?" So we're really excited about that. It's one of those things that it just gives us something else to shoot, right? We get to go out and test that product too. So it's a lot of fun for us being outdoor guys. As far as new, check us out at ATA. That's all I can say. Like we'll have it done by then. Also, like, check us out. Like we're on all the social medias. You can follow us at vantagepointarchery.com and just search us up, VPA on Instagram and all those Google stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking at that broadhead. You said Thor shot. I just watched this video. It puts it through a doe's shoulder, and then they do a close up on the broadhead, and it has 2 of the 3 blades left after it goes through there. So I guess that's 2/3 of the money worth spending there. And I think it's the blades are probably from Germany, but the rest of that crap's from China. So
we need to ask Thor how much he spends in these broadheads and replacing them every year. Yeah. You need to ask Thor that.
Yeah, I'll probably text him after this and be like, "Hey, man, Ryan wanted to know.
Just give us an average." Like,
yeah. Well, and I'll tell you, man, the blades, I've cut myself open multiple times with those things. So that is one thing I'll give them. But other than that, I mean, it opened up on me in flight. I watched a video of the same exact thing happening, and I was like, I'm happy I switched. Because
how many years have you been shooting a Rage for? 15?
Do what?
How many years has Thor's been shooting this Rage for? Like 15
Oh, no,
years?
he's shooting a Mega Meat. He's not shooting a Rage.
Yeah, it's a G5.
Yeah, he's shooting the one that I was shooting last year before I met you guys.
So how many years have you been running that?
Well, I've only known Thor for 2 years. So 2 years.
Okay.
So
still at $40 a pack.
Yeah. I mean, I know the thing. So the thing is, like, yes, that looks about right.
Yeah, if you're going to shoot him in the guts and have a shitty shot like this guy did, I mean, this is terrible, unethical hell.
Yeah.
But hey, at least it opened up and his guts, his intestines, his stomach, his liver could have fallen out. But that's a shitty shot there if I've ever seen one.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is I respect what they're doing. I respect that company. I'm not trying to talk bad on them. It's just my with it. I mean, like I said earlier, I'm happy I made the switch because now I don't have to worry about it. And with the way that you guys design these broadheads, they're extremely accurate. So as long as you don't pull the shot, you're fine. So
it's definitely a good broadhead they got out there. It's just, again, when we talk about doing the right things, ours are made in Fort Wayne, Indiana, a U.S. sourced still by Americans. And that doesn't mean that there's not good people around the world, but Xi Jinping appreciates a lot of people that buy broadheads because they all come out of China.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's dude. Don't
You
even
can
get me
vote.
started on that.
You can have influence in the world with your pocketbook as much as you can with your vote.
Yeah, I agree, man. So actually, you just got me thinking of something, a little idea maybe. Um, have you guys ever looked at making lighted knocks?
No,
No.
no.
Okay. The reason I ask is because my lighted knocks, I won't lie to you, do come from China. And there's a reason. There's a reason. They're cheap, they work, and they're light. So with you guys having American made everything, I just wasn't sure if that was like something that maybe would be on the table eventually, like a light, lighted knock that actually works. Because a lot of these other companies, man, that's why I won't go to them because they're super heavy and half of them don't work out of the box. You know what I'm saying? So
I think you got a
wasn't
better
sure.
chance of us making mechanical. It used to be that we'd say we say no, we don't make knocks. Doesn't mean if we couldn't find a good company that makes them that was U.S. based that we wouldn't look at it. But like on the mechanical, I used to say there's no way in hell we'll make a mechanical. I'd back a mechanical if it could perform like a fixed blade. Still open up, take the variation out, do the statistics behind it so there's repeatability, probability, all that's studied, and we understand when it opens, what keeps it from opening. It's rigid, you can adjust it. We could end up coming out with a mechanical, but man, how stringent we are about making sure that they perform would be the same with a knock, right?
Yeah.
We're not just going to go pick them up because they're US made. They've got to hit some minimum thresholds. It's like Danny. We partnered with Danny and Valkyrie because they're good companies that make a good quality product and they stand behind it. Do we want to sell a gazillion of them? Absolutely. But we want people to shoot them because they're good quality. They're happy with what they get. They see the value in, maybe they're 56 for a 3-pack of 3 blades. Man, you can shoot them over and over and over. You can hand them down. You and the deer or maybe not on the same page because you're trying to kill them, but at least you're taking that deer ethically. You feel good about what you do. It opens up shot placement, so you get a bigger place to aim at. I mean, integrity, right, Ryan? We talk about that all the time. It's about integrity.
It's extremely important, man. So one other
we
thing
have to sleep at night.
You what?
I said we have to sleep at night, right?
Yeah. With all this craziness going on, man, at least something's gonna help with that.
Yeah.
But all right, so I do have one more question. Y'all keep making me think of new things that I'm curious about. So I'll wrap it up with this. With the Valkyrie heads, what is the lightest broadhead that they have? Like, do they have any 125s or 150s?
No, I think he has 150s, does not have 125s.
Okay.
Yep.
Because I did remember looking at them, and I wanted to say that the ones I saw, the lowest they went was like 200, and I'm like, yeah,
he has some 150s. They're called short bees.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just with his design and the length of it and the thickness of the blades, there's some engineering if we wanted to really get those down, but like we really like that design that he has because of that like 3-to-1 on the length. Like it's super long. Like love it.
And he's definitely bought into FOC. I mean, he's done the work, done the study, and if you look at Brent, I don't know if you've ever seen him. The guy looks like a linebacker for the 49ers, just a big, burly dude.
Yeah.
But he's hunted everything. He's hunted everywhere, and he came up with this design through trial and error. And there's some people that'll beat on him about, FOC, you don't know what you're talking about. He's got the dead animals to prove that it works. I tell Ryan all the time, I killed a deer with a target tip, had a target tip in my bow, missed it with the first shot, just grabbed another one, knocked it up, flung it out there, went through, deer dropped, go over there, and it's like, oops. But you can kill a lot of things with a target tip. You can kill a lot of things with a mechanical. You can kill a lot of things with a fixed blade, heavy, light. I mean, all these people that say, they're wrong, you got to follow me. Yeah, bullshit. You do what's good for you. Do what feels right. And just be happy with your setup.
Like shooting a VPA.
Amen. Best broadhead on the market. I'm biased.
Right.
It's the best broadhead on the market.
I'm a little biased too. I can't lie. Well, look, guys, I appreciate y'all coming on. If I missed anything, let me know. It's always good to get you guys on, though, seriously. And everything you've done just for the podcast, for the listeners, I can't thank you enough. And I know the guys that are shooting y'all's heads this year, they hopefully, as long as they do their due diligence and actually tune their bows, I don't think they're ever going to switch. So I appreciate it, boys. Like I told y'all last time, if you want to send over any photos or anything I can use to promote, this episode will probably drop in 2 weeks because I'm trying to stock up some for deer season. That way, if anything happens, I can go do it and don't have to worry about recording. But whatever you guys want, in the promo, just let me know and I'll make it happen.
Yeah, just keep your eyes out. Keep your eyes out for some stuff to drop from Archery Country. Got something big going down with them. We'll let them give everybody what's going on with it, but just keep your eyes out for that. And then, we always try to do it at the end, but we're blessed to do what we do. We're blessed to be able to sit here and talk as friends. And, me and Ryan have a business made out of hunting, and we got 30 great families if we didn't have those families, we'd just be a sign on the building, and we owe all that glory to God. So,
Amen.
Dude. God, I love ending these like that. Y'all know how to make it work, dude. Awesome. Well, look, again, boys, thank you. And we need to do this again. All right. So around ATA, if you guys are free, and maybe not at ATA, like at the time, a little bit after.
Why you come do a live podcast?
Do a live podcast at ATA, yeah.
Well,
out of our booth.
I can't get in.
Yeah, you can.
We'll help.
We just have to invite you.
Oh,
yeah, we'll get the ATA.
We'll
guys.
get you a pass. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I will gladly.
Jeff from ATA was just at the shop, and he wants to promote ATA. I can't imagine him saying no if you're going to do a live podcast from there.
Yeah, I'll get all the stuff. I'm actually looking at upgrading a lot of the equipment and getting some mobile stuff. So, because next year I'm planning on doing a lot more shows than I did this year. I literally did TAC and that was it. I had no time this year. So next year is probably going to be more show oriented. And so, yeah, I mean, whatever, if we can make something happen, that'd be awesome. And I'll definitely be there.
We got something we're trying to work with TAC too, that maybe there's 4 special TACs that we'd like to invite people to. We haven't got it finished yet, but that's something else to watch out. We're going to try to do something with Sean and his group at TAC. Amazing individuals and great Christian people over there. So we'd love to partner up with them and do something that's nobody else has done. It'll be exciting going around.
Yes, sir.
So excited. Oh, man. Well, thank you, guys. Yeah, just keep me in the loop. I mean, whatever, like I always say, whatever you need from me, just let me know and I'll make it happen.
Sounds
All
good.
right, thanks, Eric.
Awesome, guys. Thank you again.
Yep. See ya.